yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
The show is in honor of, and today it's my honor to have three good friends from the VVA here, and we'll talk a lot about things that are going on. And I want to thank Paul Dietrich, my co-host. He's always here, and he's always helping us. Let me introduce you. But yeah, you introduce yourself and introduce the guys.
Okay.
Gene.
I'm Gene DiGiacomo, the president of Chapter 421. This, to my left, is Nick Costoro. He's the captain of the Honor Guard. And next to him is Frank Russo. He's our website master. And we're here to talk about our chapter.
Well, thank you for being here. I know you've been here a few times before. Nick has been with me in both this phase and also has been playing drums on one of my shows a couple of times.
Several times.
Several times, yeah. And Frank,
I'm new.
welcome. You're new. Well, Gene, tell us about the VVA and bring us up to date as to what you're doing right now.
Well, what we're doing is we're doing a lot. The chapter originated in 1988, and from that point on, we have just evolved to something fantastic. We have established a Veterans Helping Veterans program, which reaches out to veterans in need here on Staten Island. We try to keep it local because that's where we want to stay right now. We have the Vietnam Experience. It's a program that goes into the schools from the 6th grade up to explain to children about what Vietnam was really like, without the gore, of course.
Right.
We have a revitalization program that's been underway for a while now. We have a memorial on the corner of Manor Road. It's the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Park. We were able to take control of that from the state, maybe 10 years now?
Yeah, about
Maybe
10.
about 10 years. And since then, we have been trying to revitalize it so it would be in a permanent state for when we're gone. The result of that is we started a pavers program, and if anybody wants to visit the memorial, as I said, it's on Manor Road and Martling Avenue, and we have a paver program, buy a brick. There's applications in a little box outside, and that's what that's doing, is keeping us to revitalize the memorial so that when we're gone, it's always going to be in good shape. The way it was before, it was grass, and we've always had trouble with the grass, and we had to eliminate that, and we have a problem with the trees in the back. We have to deal with that. But as you can see from this point on, anybody that visits the memorial, how far it's come. And the program for Buy a Brick is out there. If you want to reach it, you could reach it on our website at VVA421.org. We have that going. I'm not going to go on too much right now. I'm going to kind of pass it on because I want Nick Costoro to talk about the Honor Guard and some of his stuff, and Frank about the website. So, Nick, you want to take it for a while?
Well, we established an Honor Guard quite some time ago because there were occasions where we felt that a more formal presence was needed from our chapter. We have a color guard that does wonderful work. They go to many events where they want someone to post colors, bring colors in.
Right.
But there were times when something more formal was needed. And also the Honor Guard would appear at the wake of any veteran, not only a Vietnam veteran, any veteran, as long as we were requested. We just won't show up for something.
Right.
So the Honor Guard was established for these occasions, and then we also took on two big events every year that we do. One is our annual Day of Remembrance, which is always the second Sunday in June, where we honor the Staten Islanders who lost their lives in the Vietnam War. And it started out rather small. We used to pick maybe 12 names. At the time we had 84.
Right.
And contact their families. And they would come down, and we'd do this ceremony, read their names, strike a bell.
Very moving ceremony. We've
Well-
been there every year, and we've put it on the air. We've televised it.
Yes.
Very moving.
Well, then we found that as time went on, it was harder to get the families together, and how do you pick who you're going to honor and who not? So we expanded the ceremony where now we read all the names every year. We thought, we had no idea how well it would go over. We have crowds of over 200 people now. I think we had about 250 people this past June. And now we don't only get the immediate family, of course, the parents, a lot of them are gone already. We get cousins, nephews, grandchildren, and the response is just overwhelming. It's really unbelievable. So we've been responding to that by increasing the program. We have a beautiful ceremony. It took years to develop. We have a point now where we really like the ceremony. It's very respectful and honoring to the family members.
I got to tell you the truth, Nick. I've been at a number of these events, and till today, if I went to another event, when I watch you come in with the honor guard, I get back hairs come up, and I get all choked up just watching. It's a very, very moving event, and it's done very classy with professionalism. You ought to be complimented for what you've done.
Thank you.
And I know you're the main mover in keeping that going.
Yes, Nicky's took over the honor guard. I don't know how many years ago it was, and every year, if you don't mind, Nick,
You all right, Ed?
every year we have the honor guard. We have a point where we want to if we want to change who's going to be running, and we've unanimously decided that we want to keep him there. He kills us with practice. This service, we start preparing for the service in January. All right, and we're out there practicing over a month ahead of time, and it's all because Nicky's a stickler for the finest things, and that's why that service is always so perfect.
Well, and I can agree with what you said about the hair standing up on the back of your neck.
Yeah.
One of the recent changes we made to the ceremony is there's a point where we had family members place flowers at the wall,
Right.
where their family member's name is. And when we first started, we used to leave the walls. We would go out and they would place these. It was like at the end of the ceremony.
Right.
Well, I changed that so that we're there with them now. We spread out,
Right.
open up the walls, but we stay there. And we always let the Gold Star parents come first to place a flower down. And I can tell you, it's very emotional to be standing there when a parent comes up and places that flower down at the wall and touches their loved one's name. And it's very difficult to maintain your composure
Exactly.
because you really feel what they're going through. Because, you know, as Vietnam veterans, those names, those people we're honoring may not be family members, but they're our brothers.
Exactly.
And there's a bond among all veterans. We all know that. But something about the bond that Vietnam veterans have, I think, is even stronger.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's for
And
sure.
I know
Because
if you go down to the wall in Washington, and I don't know of anybody that was involved that could go through that wall without tears in his eyes. I don't know of anyone that can, get away with not crying. You know, because it's inside you.
yeah.
It's inside you.
And I think what it comes from is the fact that the way Vietnam was fought, there were no big major battles, a couple, but not really. That wasn't the norm. Most of it was small unit action, small patrols, and really all you had was each other. You really had to look out for each other, or you weren't going to make it.
Right.
And it just remained that way. And then some of the things we had to deal with when we come home only strengthened that bond.
That was a tragedy. Well,
Yeah.
Yes.
we talked about that earlier.
It was, I remember that when I was on an advanced tactical support base, it was a small group of guys, and we used to get these little stipends of what was going on back in the States and how we were hated and all. So when you had to look at each other, we knew that actually the only people we could really depend on was ourselves.
Exactly.
And that, I think that was the cement that started the bond. Because as Nicky says, and I agree with him 100%, all veterans are brothers. But us Nam guys, I mean, we're just...
If I could just bring a point to that,
Okay,
is
Frank.
when I was down there, we found leaflets that they had dropped, either Viet Cong or the NVA,
Yeah.
and the picture on the leaflet was the guy flying the NVA flag. I think it was in Washington. That's what they were using as propaganda,
Sure.
unfortunately.
It was,
So we had to hang together. We hung tight. We did. We never lost a major battle. There's so much about the history about Vietnam that people don't understand, and that's where I got to put a plug in for that, the Vietnam experience, because we go into that. You know, there's so much about the war that people don't know. You know, they really don't.
the important thing that I tell anybody that asks me, we didn't choose to be there. We didn't choose to have this war fought, but we did what we had to do for our country. Okay, we held our head up high and we were respectful. We didn't run to Canada.
All right.
As a matter of fact, I think I said in the green room, I recently ran into somebody who did run to Canada, and he was bragging about it, and I had to walk away because
Well, you know, this has to do with the question of how we were raised. You know, as Vietnam veterans, we are the children of the World War II generation,
Right.
the greatest generation. We were brought up to respect the military, honor those who served. They were heroes to us.
right.
I mean, after all, they didn't call them the greatest generation for nothing. I mean, they literally saved the world.
Right.
So I can tell you of times when I was a kid, if we saw a guy in uniform, it was like seeing a big hero. I can tell you times where we'd be playing on the block, and one guy would run over and say, "Hey, so-and-so, he's on leave from the Army. He's in the candy store. Let's go and look at him."
In the candy
Just
store.
to look at him.
Right.
To see him there in the candy
In
store.
the candy store.
In uniform. And if a guy in uniform went to get on a bus, the driver would put his hand over the token machine. I know you don't know what a token machine is. That's how you pay.
It's
He'd put his
amazing.
hand over, and the guy wouldn't have to pay to get on the bus. There was just a sense of awe and
Different
respect
era.
and honor.
Right.
So naturally, when it was time for us to go into the service, we were doing our duty. We thought we were doing what we were supposed to do.
Exactly. And we had no
And you
problem
were
with
doing
it.
what you were supposed
Even
to
when
be
we
doing.
played with toys, we had the little soldiers. Remember?
Right,
the
They
little
had
green men,
Now,
yeah.
That's it.
They don't even sell them because I think they took them off the
No, you
market.
can't find them. You know,
can't even find
they're
these
almost
things
like
anymore.
collector's items, which is sad.
What's
But
you know, and I said it before in the break room there about the first civilian that I ran into. Why didn't you go to Canada? You know, that was you know, it was
that
downhill
still
after
irks me
that.
till today.
We didn't get the welcome back. I mean, everybody wanted the little welcome home. Thank you for serving. Nothing. There was none of that at all.
Look how long you had to wait to finally get a welcome back, and even at that, in the beginning, it was
1985.
half-hearted.
It was 14 years later that we marched over the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and as I told you before, I had to take. We were guest of honors at the dedication of the memorial on Water Street
Right.
because my pen pal's letters are on there, and we were guest of honor, and I had to take a vacation day from my job. They wouldn't even give me a day off.
It's just sad.
Nothing.
That it,
We were the generation of veterans that initiated the word closet vet.
yeah.
And that's such a standard thing. One of our guys, Frank Sansone, he's an active member, and he does great work with us. And when he came into the organization, and he stood up, because when a new member comes in, we bring him up at the meeting, and we introduce him, and we say, you know, where were you and what you were. And the typical answer was, I was in a closet for 10 years or for 15 years, and I'm getting goosebumps. And I'm out now, and I want to be with you guys. And that's what's evolving now with the Vietnam veterans. Wow, our chapter, we've gone up to 240-something members, and I don't think there's a meeting that we don't have a guy come in and join the chapter. Every meeting, and it's the same thing. You know what? It's time I come out. It's time I come out. And that was that situation that carried through for all these years.
Think about how many years later he's finally coming out. You know.
Yep.
You know, the VVA, Vietnam Veterans of America, on its crest, it has on the bottom, and it's so true. And what it says is, never again will one generation of veterans forget another. And that's what got us to kick in when these guys went to Iraq. Oh, actually, it was Desert Storm. And when that first happened, we started this movement on that, so that would never happen again. And I'm proud to say the Vietnam veterans were the ones who initiated that across the country.
Well, I can vouch for that. My son joined the Army Reserves and was deployed to Afghanistan. And when we went to meet him when he came home, I had men from his unit coming over to me, thanking me for my Vietnam service and saying things to me like, "I don't know how you did it. We could never do what you guys did in Vietnam." So there was a respect and honor coming from the younger generation, which was greatly appreciated. They really have some kind of admiration for us for what we did, while we're there trying to be in awe of them. So it's kind of a mutual admiration society, but it felt good.
Yep, it was very important.
Yeah, without I've noticed without a doubt that there's more and more people that come up to you and say thank you for your service. Supermarkets, wherever they are coming out.
Frank, tell us about the website.
Yes.
The website, when we started putting together a website, I was looking at it, being a Vietnam veteran, I was looking at it to maintain the brotherhood of the Vietnam veteran along with the website, not only as a communication tool, but also to get people interested in using the computer, using the website. And I've had people come up to me and say, I never used to use the computer as much as I do now because they go to the website. As far as a communication tool, we have, I think the old test will have everything on there.
I'd like you to go into detail of what's on that website.
There's a video,
such a tool.
There's video and photo gallery, of course, of all the photos we take and the videos. There's all the forms that we use, the break form, the dance, all the forms are on there. There's an announcement section where any announcement that we have, any events coming up is announced. There's a calendar. There's what I call mark your calendar. It's just a one page that has bulleted line items of events coming up, and you could print that, and that way you know what events are coming up. There's a section, a quiz section that I have, a quiz and did you know facts on there. So I've come up with some things that to get the people interactive, to get the people to go to the website. And I think this month we came up with the photo of the month. So we got people submitting photos, and then we put them out there on one page, and the membership or everybody goes away, they're going to vote on what photo is the photo of the month. And it's got people interested in going to the website. And again, so the part as maintaining the brotherhood of Vietnam veterans, I think I reflect that on the page with the 85 veterans that are on the memorial.
Right.
Have a picture of each, and if you click on it, it will take you to the page where on the Vietnam Wall in Washington, it gives you all the data, the background, and also there's a musical background that I have, and also there's also a list of if you go to that page with all the pictures of the 85. It tells you where they're interred. So we recently put that on here. I think that's about it as far as details.
I have to say, he's making light of it. We had a website a while ago, and we also had a newsletter, and the newsletter was nothing but trouble. So we were trying to get together. Now Frankie enters the picture. Okay, he becomes part of the chapter. And he tells, I heard he does a website, so we started talking. And the only thing I said, you know what? We need to eliminate the newsletter and get it so that our members and the families know what's going on. And I turned it over to him. The miracle that this guy's done with this website is unbelievable. We get calls from him. You think I should do it? Yeah, Frank, go with it. Go. And he has put this website completely together all by himself. He asks for ideas, we give him some, but everything comes from him. I have to say, from the websites I've seen out there, I don't think there's one that could touch it.
It also has a lot of useful information about applying for benefits that you're entitled to, where to go, how to get the right forms, how to get things done, which a lot of vets don't participate in programs, maybe because they don't know how. And this is a tool that
a lot of guys miss the boat too because their cutoff periods, And
And he reaches right out to people. If there's an emergency or something, he's got it set up that all he's got to do is pull into that website or click on something, and everything goes out to the members.
What we do is when there's a change to the website, so I have a whole list of contacts as far as email, and they'll get an email saying that the website's been updated, but I don't show them the update in the email, so that way it brings them to
They
the
have
website.
to go to the website.
So I give them a link to the website, and they'll find the update. But I'll tell you, there's more and more people that are using the website, and I'm really glad, because a website is only as good as the people visiting the website.
well,
So,
people don't buy
obviously-
nuspapers no more.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
exactly.
If they look at the website, and I find it frustrating because I have to maneuver through the computer myself, and I get somewhat confused sometimes, or I screw up. But I got a 3-year-old grandson, Aiden.
Oh,
And he sits there and hits the buttons, and he would come over and say, "No, Grandpa, you do it this way. You fix it."
Right. And that's another point that you brought up. We made the website that it's easy to navigate. You know, I've tried to make it, you know, where you don't get lost or too crowded in the shuffle. So, you know, you have to think of your audience too, on who you're targeting, and their, as far as
It's
their
an important thing.
expertise.
Give us the website address again.
It's VVA421.org.
Okay, I think we're posting that also.
Yes,
I think they-
and if you want any information on the VVA, or if you're one of those Vietnam veterans that wants to come out and of the closet, as we spoke about before, this is the time to do it, and here's the way to get the connection to them.
Do visit the
And
website.
visit the website, look it over, and then I recommend that you join the group. You really need to come out of that closet and get involved with the organizations. They're out there for you. That's the purpose of them.
All right, you can come to a meeting, check us out, see what we're like. You know, we let anybody into the meetings, and we meet the fourth Monday of the month at the Elks Club on Richmond Avenue.
Richmond Avenue, right. We lost the post, huh?
and I'm proud to say that, and I was going over this with my membership chairman, Al Halfager, and because we were impressed that over the past year or so, there's always, I think maybe there's 1 or 2 meetings we might miss, but there's always somebody coming in and joining, all right? And what we tell them is, you know, if somebody wants to know about it, come on down. Try us out one night, one meeting. If you don't like it, you're out the door. Nobody will stop you. I said, but come out. And every person, every vet that's come out, non-vet that's come out to join us, has stayed with the chapter. We carry what, 50? We carry 50 to 60 members a meeting,
Yeah.
constantly.
Every meeting is about 50
So,
40,
yeah.
50 members.
I'm so proud of the unit, the way we've gone with all these guys. You know, I have to say, I've been a president for a long time. All right.
Right.
And I'm proud to be. But all that's accomplished here has been with Nikki's been with us for God knows how long, and I have guys out there. I have a board of directors that is just outstanding, and all the credit goes to these guys, you know, and the membership that gets involved, and that's why it's evolving like it is, and I'm just can't get over how it's going, you know.
I can't be more proud to be part of this organization,
That's important.
without a doubt.
The viewers that are out there, if you're a Vietnam vet and you're not involved in the organization, get off your butt and get involved, because that's what makes it work, you being involved. It's not a club where you go have a couple of beers and talk about all the gory stories. It's a place where you go and you experience camaraderie with people who come from the same background, the same generation as you, and you talk with people that can actually identify what's in your mind,
Right.
and you're on the same page.
It's also very important to point out that you didn't actually have to be in Vietnam
Yes, thank you, Nick.
to be a member. As long as you were in the U.S. military, anywhere in the world during the Vietnam era, you're eligible for membership in our organization. A lot of people feel that if they didn't actually set foot in Vietnam, they can't be a part of us, and it's a misconception. We welcome any vet from any branch of the service, wherever they were. We're all part of the same team.
You know, it wasn't when the VVA first started, and actually when this chapter first started, there was rumblings out there that if you didn't have a CIB, if you didn't have a combat action ribbon, he doesn't belong in the chapter. And there was also associates. No, that couldn't happen. Or guys that didn't go to Vietnam, they don't belong in here. And it took a while to break that nut down, you know. And what it is right now is we feel, and it's the only way to feel, a veteran is a veteran. Yeah. If somebody goes and joins the service, does his service for the country, it's not his reason for going here or going there, it's his orders. So he did his job, and he's more than welcome. If he's in that Vietnam era, he's more than welcome to come.
Exactly.
We do not distinguish.
We've had that discussion many times, that you don't get a choice as to where you're going. It is where they send you, where they need you. That's exactly how the military works.
Man, I tell my guys, geez, I wish I was one of those guys that didn't go. You know?
Well, you know, I was in the infantry. I have a CIB, and the only reason I have that is because I was too stupid to score higher on all the testing they did, or they might have put me in something else. So
I don't think anybody ever thought you were stupid.
You didn't try to fail the test?
Good,
No.
I have to remember that. Nick.
No, the thing that gets me the most, there was one of the questions was, do you mind sleeping outdoors? I said, no, I don't mind sleeping outdoors.
You'd never answer that one
No,
right.
well,
Right.
Didn't they also have one that said something about, do you mind having not having clean underwear? I seem to remember that question being asked too.
Did we wear underwear there?
No,
Yeah, well.
that's where the term commando originated.
That's
that
it.
was us.
And that you didn't wear underwear.
I remember the test that we took after getting drafted. You had to take this test, and I couldn't figure out how you can fail it. They had a picture of a fork with spaghetti with a nail or something. There's no way that you could actually try to fail it. It was just hysterical.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Tell us, where's the organization going now?
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Where we're going right now, we have, as I said, we have the memorial is a big thing. We have to finish that. If you go and visit it now, you see how far we've come, but we have to go further. We have plans, and we're not going to talk about it, where by the time we're done, and Nikki is my right-hand man on this, you know, he's got a million ideas, and everything's working out well. The brick program that we have what we do is we have 2 bricks that you could buy, a 4x8 for $150 and an 8x8 for $325. Those bricks, you design what you want, you get the forms, you could either go online and get them, or you could stop by the memorial. There's a little box outside, you can pick a form up. Fill that out, you get your brick. When your brick gets in, we take the profit, it goes into a Vietnam Memorial Fund. It has nothing to do with the fund that's running the chapter. It has to do with that. And that fund, we're hoping, is going to help us go further, where we could have the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Park permanently maintenance-free, so that when we're gone, you know, it'll be there. And we have a Veterans Helping Veterans program that's always involved. We are now getting involved in the community. We stepped up with PS 57 with the special needs children. That's something that we're getting into. We have the Vietnam experience that we urge teachers out there that if they want to know about it, to get in touch with me or Nikki, and we could come to the school, 6th grade or older. Nick, I'm tired.
The purchasing of the bricks, you know,
Dance.
people think this is only for someone who was killed in action or something like that. It's not true. You can put a brick to honor someone. My kids put one there for me in honor of my service. And, you know, the holidays are coming up. It's a good gift idea. Instead of asking, you know, I need a sweater or something, why don't you buy me a brick that can go down at the memorial? And this is what funds everything that we want to do there. And as Gene said, we have a lot more ideas in mind. There's a lot more we want to do. And as long as we can keep selling bricks, we can raise the funds necessary. Because as Gene said, we want to make this a permanent place that doesn't need a lot of maintenance, that's going to be there forever. without having all these hands-on people there to take care of things. That's why we've gone to the pavers, eliminated the grass and things like that.
Well, I want to thank Gene, Nick, Frank. I especially want to thank Colonel Dietrich, Paul Dietrich. He helped put this together. You guys are true heroes. Okay, now, I know you don't look at it that way, but you are. You're true heroes, not in a sense of your service in Vietnam only, but you're true heroes in that all the time that you've given to make the VVA work. Now, you know there were times when the VVA throughout the country could have folded if it wasn't for people like you who had heart and you put your backbone into it and everything that you've done. So you are true heroes in my eyes, okay? And it's my honor to have you here. I want to ask you to come back anytime, please.
More than welcome to come. Thank you for having us.
Oh,
Thank
no, it's my honor, once I said. You've been watching in honor of. It's truly important for us to bring these shows to you. If you see a veteran out there, go shake his hand and say thank you, okay? Don't ever turn your back on your country, because these guys didn't and they wouldn't. So we thank you for watching. We love you for watching. You keep looking for an honor of. We've got a lot more shows coming at you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.